A villager sued by friends injured in a golf cart crash hires a big-name law firm. A cleaning lady that was accused of stealing in the villages apparently has turned to selling drugs. A son is accused of stealing pills from his mother in the villages. A child molester arrested at a gym in the villages is freed on a $100,000 bond. A villager with a reputation of being a bad landlord escapes prosecution. A Lexus driver apparently punches a golf cart driver in a dispute in a parking lot. Villager's son apprehended with hypodermic syringes in a suspicious area. Another crash in a roundabout in Middleton. A commissioner says businesses are complaining about the fire assessment. Intrusive fiber installation in villages takes another turn. A hit and run in a golf cart in Middleton. Driver was tracked down. A notorious golf cart thief is back in jail. How many holes in one's golf did we get this week? Letters to the editor. This and more updates coming up. This week's news is brought to you by my YouTube and Patreon members. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's News of the Villages updates. We have some updates to get caught up on, so let's get to them right away and get them out of the way. A villager has been allowed to remove an alcohol monitoring device while awaiting a trial in a woman's fatal fall earlier this year from his golf cart. Richard Allen Kyle, 59, of the village of Rio Ponderosa, is facing a charge of DUI manslaughter in the March 9 death of 60-year-old Kelly Novitt, an Illinoisan who had been staying with her mother on the historic side of the villages. Kyle remains free on a $50,000 bond. One of the conditions of his bond that he was to wear an alcohol monitoring device for 60 days. He has met the threshold and has been allowed to remove the monitoring device. A court document noted that Kyle met the requirement and continually abided by it. That'll be his update. A villager has lost his driver's license as a result of a drunk driving arrest. Michael Robert Broderick, 59, of the village of Sunset Point, pleaded no contest last month in Sumter County Court to a charge of driving under the influence. In addition to losing his driver's license for 18 months, he has been placed on probation for 1 year in order to perform 80 hours of community service. Broderick was found at about 6:30 p.m. March 9 in his gold 2017 Jeep in a parking lot of Lowe's at Trailwinds Village, according to the Rescue Department Sumter County Sheriff's Office. That'll be his update. An 84-year-old villager with the reputation as a bad landlord has escaped prosecution in a case in which he was accused of torching his tenant's couch. The prosecutor's office announced earlier this month that Yosef El Masri, who owns a home in Villa Vera Cruz in the village of Santo Domingo, won't be prosecuted in the case due to insufficient evidence. El Masri, who previously has been accused of keeping trashy rental property in the Villages, allegedly went December 21 to his rental property on East Leah Court in Fruitland Park and a removal crew, according to the arrest report. While he was there at the property, El Masri's female tenant arrived at the home and found her couch in a burn pit in the backyard. She called law enforcement. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but that's his update. He escapes prosecution. How does that happen? And I believe this will be our last update, at least for now while I'm doing this. A villager who is being sued by friends who were injured in a crash of a golf cart she was driving has hired a big-name law firm. Julia Marie Janney, 61, of the village of Lake Denham, is being sued by a couple from Wisconsin who were injured in a golf cart she was allegedly driving drunk in 2024 near Colony Cottage Recreation Center. Jenny is facing significant potential legal consequences in both the lawsuit and her criminal case. And that'll be her update. Don't drink and drive, people. This golf cart rule of drinking and driving is the same as a car. And you see in this case here, she's going to be sued. It's going to cost her a lot. Let's have some more news. A homeowner in the village is already facing more than $20,000 in unpaid deed compliance fines may have a fresh deed compliance violation. Henry Mabry, 83, is already being sued by the Community Development District 5 Board of Supervisors over unpaid fines and legal fees tied to his home at 1762 Roseberry Loop in the village of Winifred. His fines total $20,942 and legal fees stand at $7,892. The problem property had been brought into compliance in 2022, though the fines remained unpaid. Mabry may have new problems with dead spots in his lawn. It's unclear if he's living in the home. His nameplate has disappeared from the lamppost. It was hinted at last week's CDD5 meeting that the problem property may soon be back for another public hearing before supervisors. In 2018, Mabry was arrested after an altercation with his wife over their dog. He was soon arrested again after returning to the home in violation of a judge's order. An unlicensed driver from Brazil was arrested after running a stop sign. Edson Paula Souza, 48, was driving a white Honda CR-V shortly before 7 a.m. Thursday when he ran a stop sign at Northeast 108th Place at Cherry Lake Road, according to the arrest report of Sumter County Sheriff's Office. During a traffic stop, a deputy noticed that Paula Souza did not speak English very well. He admitted he does not have a driver's license, but claimed he is in the process of obtaining a driver's license. How do you be in a process of it? You just go take the test. The native of Brazil was arrested on a charge of driving without a license and issued a written warning for running the stop sign. The car's registration owner arrived on the scene and removed the vehicle. Paula Souza was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $500 bond. A notorious golf cart thief in the Villages landed back behind bars after he was caught with methamphetamine. Listen, this methamphetamine thing here is really a problem. It makes these people crazy nuts. I just watched the news today. Judge Grady was just on TV with a special report how the deputies had to shoot and kill a guy that was crazy nuts on methamphetamine. So it's nothing to joke around with. Jerry Michael Lay Jr., 53, who listed his address in the San Lorenzo Villas, was driving a white Toyota sedan Tuesday morning in the area of US 301 and Southeast Highway 42. That's where they're building the new areas. When his vehicle left the roadway and pulled into a wooded area not meant for vehicle traffic, according to the arrest report of the Marion County Sheriff's Office. Lay, who was released on December the 9th from a Lake County jail after stealing a golf cart from Spanish Springs, was driving on a suspended license. A K-9 unit was summoned to the scene, and the dog alerted on the vehicle, indicating the likely presence of drugs. A search of the vehicle turned up 3 Ziploc bags, which contained methamphetamine, weighing 8.3 grams. He was also in possession of a glass pipe that tested positive for a residue of methamphetamine. Later admitted he had been struggling with meth for many years. A female passenger traveling in the vehicle said she had no knowledge of the drugs. Lay was arrested on charges of drug possession and possession of drug paraphernalia. He was cited for driving while license suspended. He was booked at the Marion County Jail and released after posting a $3,500 bond. In June of 2023, Lay was arrested in connection with a theft of a 2015 Yamaha golf cart at Lake Sumter Landing. He was able to avoid prison time in that case. Before moving to the Villages, Lay had numerous arrests for grand theft of a motor vehicle dating back to 1988 in Broward County. In 2017, he was sentenced to prison time in a grand theft case in Lake County. They never stop stealing. They have every excuse in the world of why they do what they do, but the facts of it is he's a drug addict. He's going to rob, steal, whatever it takes to get enough money to buy drugs. That's bottom line with this guy. The point is about these roads being public. A lot of people outside come into the Villages at shopping centers and the squares and things. They don't know the lifestyle here. They don't understand a lot of our rules here, and so things happen. A Lexus driver allegedly punched a golf cart driver in a parking lot dispute at a busy shopping plaza in the Villages. The golf cart driver was traveling at about noon Sunday near the 7-Eleven at Magnolia Plaza when a man driving a Lexus sport utility vehicle ran a stop sign and nearly hit his golf cart, according to the rescue report from Wildwood Police Department. The golf cart driver honked his horn at the Lexus driver, prompting him to slam on his brakes off his SUV. They were in front of the Reveille Cafe when the Lexus driver got out of his vehicle, became aggressive, and hit the golf cart driver twice in the head. A woman who was walking to her golf cart at Public witnessed the attack. She told police the man in the golf cart had been assaulted. She shot a video with her phone and provided it to the police. The officers tracked the suspect, 62-year-old Kevin Roger Little, to his home at 2115 Azalea Loop in Wildwood. When police arrived at the home, Little walked outside and indicated he knew why they were there. He was still wearing the same clothes he had been wearing in the video shot by the Publix shopper. Publix is our grocery store. He was arrested on a charge of battery and booked at the Sumter County Detention Center. He was released after posting a $1,000 bond. You can't assume that everybody you see in here, even if they look the right age, you can't assume that they're residents here. An unlicensed driver from Mexico was arrested after running a stop sign. Antonio Gomez del Diaz, 30, was driving a white 2007 Jeep SUV at about 3:30 p.m. Thursday when he failed to stop at an intersection of US 301 and Warm Springs Avenue in Coleman, according to the rescue department of Sumter County Sheriff's Office. During a traffic stop, the native of Mexico admitted he has never obtained a driver's license in the United States. He was arrested on a charge of driving without a license and booked at the Sumter County Detention Center. He was released after posting a $500 bond. Don't ask, I don't know. A hit-and-run suspect had been tracked down after his pickup allegedly crashed into a golf cart at Middleton. Jason Michael McCrae, 49, of Fruitland Park, is facing a felony charge of hit-and-run following his arrest on a warrant charging him with fleeing the scene of a crash in 2024 in the family area of the Villages near the Villages Charter School campus. A man was driving a golf cart on August 2, traveling northeast on Pretty Way when a truck traveling at a high rate of speed hit his golf cart. The golf cart driver suffered minor injuries and was treated at the UF Health Emergency Room Clinic at Brownwood, according to the rescue department of Wildwood Police Department. The truck fled the scene. McCrae's black Ford F-150 pickup was caught on video surveillance at about the time of the hit-and-run crash, making a right turn onto Leanne Lane from Stampeder Trail when the truck jumped the curb and hit the gate arm at the entrance of Middleton. The gate arm fell off and hit the ground. The surveillance camera captured the truck's license plate number. Images of the truck were shown to the golf cart driver, who confirmed it was the same truck that hit his golf cart. In addition to the felony hit-and-run charge, McCrae is facing a misdemeanor charge of criminal damage to property for knocking down the gate arm. He was taken into custody this past week and remains free on a $6,000 bond. The owner of a courtyard villa in the Villages has been ordered to rectify a situation in which her yard has dirt and rocks, but no grass. The home at 1404 Georgiana Terrace in the Chesterfield Villas in the village of Liberty Park was the subject of a decompliance hearing Friday morning before Community Development District 5 Board of Supervisors at Seabreeze Rec Center. The home is owned by Yvette Ann Luchese, who purchased the property in 2014 for $175,000. A complaint was received February 11 by Community Standards about the conditions of the lawn. The Community Standards has been unable to contact Luchese. A number she had listed has since been disconnected. Notices have been mailed to her by certified and/or regular mail. The board agreed to give Luchese 45 days to bring the property into compliance. If she fails to do so, she will face $50 daily fines. Who knows what happened there? Things like that happen here quite a bit, really. People just disappear. Phone disconnected. Property's going to hell in a handbasket. Nobody has seen the owner for a long while. They can't get a hold of nobody. Did they die? I mean, these are possibilities. Is she in an assisted living program now? I don't know. A villager sporting a black eye has been jailed without bond after violating a court order. Lucia Anna Brown, 50, was booked Tuesday at the Sumter County Detention Center on a charge of contempt of court. The Illinois native was taken into custody at a Sumter County courthouse in Bushnell. Her mugshot taken at the jail clearly shows she had suffered a black eye. She's no kidding. Good Lord. That looks like it hurts. Braun had also suffered a black eye at the time of her original arrest on a charge of battery after an altercation at her home in the village of Mallory Square. A man claimed he had been attacked by Braun, with whom he was residing. He said Braun had accused him of being in possession of drugs. He said she struck him several times and threw a lamp and metal cups at him. The man said he had to kick at Braun to try to get her to stop from attacking him. The man used his phone to record the video of the altercation. In a separate court action, Braun is being sued by American Express National Bank. A villager who failed to pay traffic fines was jailed after he was caught driving in the wee hours Monday near Spanish Plains Shopping Center in the Villages. Rudy Van der Putten, 73, who lives on the historic side of the Villages, was driving a white 2017 Ford pickup at 1:41 a.m. in the area of U.S. Highway 441 and Bella Cruz Drive when a deputy noted an inconsistency with the vehicle's license plate, according to a arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. During a traffic stop, the deputy discovered that Van der Putten's license had been suspended since 2023 for failure to pay traffic fines. The native of Belgium was arrested on a charge of driving while license suspended. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center on a $150 bond. Do you find it kind of ironic that the worst landlord we have here is from Egypt, and here's a guy here from Belgium, and they're from all over the world? I just find it ironic that I run into people here all the time that we have meet and greets with, and we talk to them all the time, that they say they discovered the Villages by watching my YouTube channel or somebody else's. They'd never heard of this place. They didn't know it even existed. And yet, there's people from around the world that knows about it. So how's come the people in the United States don't know about it? I don't get any of that. Somebody please explain. Someone once asked me and Sue on last porch sitting, I believe, if they had fiber optics in the Villages, and we told them, said, yes, they do, but it's not every district. That's why we always tell you, check your district rules. If you want fiber optics, you have to have fiber optics. You better check your district rules because not every district has fiber optics. Some do, some don't. And fiber optics, if I can remember right, it's not Comcast, it's not Spectrum, it is CenturyLink that has fiber optics. So if you don't have CenturyLink in a district you're looking at, then you will not have fiber optics. But here's the story. They're adding fiber optics to some of these areas. I don't know all the areas. You have to check them out. But I want to read this story to you about this neighborhood here that's having fiber optic installed and how it's kind of turned into a nightmare in this whole neighborhood. There's a new plot twist in an infrastructure fiber installation project in the Villages. The Lumen Quantum Fiber project that began last year is being acquired by AT&T. It was announced this week that AT&T is acquiring the Lumen Fiber business for $5.75 billion. An AT&T public relations specialist confirmed for villagesnews.com that the purchase includes the fiber networks already installed or being installed in the Villages. That could be good news for some homeowners who have been enraged by the clumsy way that the Lumen project had been handled here. The deal is still subject to regulatory approval. And I'm going to put some pictures up back here so you can see the nightmare that this neighborhood has been putting up with for a year. In 2024, the fiber network installation began in the Allendale Villas in the village of Duval. Soon, residents began complaining about the disruption, which included damages to their irrigation system. Workers moved on to the Seneca Villas in the village of Hemingway, where the problems only got worse. A 93-year-old woman suffered through having her water cut off, and she had to boil her water for 3 days. In addition, her cable and internet service provided by rival company Comcast was also accidentally severed. Streets were damaged along the driveways. Angry residents packed a meeting on the Community Development District 7 Board of Supervisors demanding relief. CDD 7 Board Chairman Jerry Vicente declared it looked like a war zone. And as you can see back here, it does. The fiber network being put down was not ordered by homeowners. It is being installed in hopes that homeowners would be interested in tapping into the high-speed network. As work has progressed in the villages, there have continued to be complaints about intrusive work near homes. In announcing the acquisition of Lumen Fiber assets, AT&T indicated it has picked up 1 million fiber optic subscribers across more than 4 million fiber locations. Over time, these subscribers will transition to be AT&T fiber customers and enjoy the many benefits of being connected by America's fastest growing fiber provider. AT&T Chairman and CEO John Stankey said the company is excited about the purchase. Boy, I changed my last name, Stanky. Can you imagine as a kid? Hey, Stinky! All right, I'm sorry. I'll get back to the real news. This deal with Lumen represents a significant investment in U.S. connectivity infrastructure that will create jobs and spur economic activity in numerous regions and major metro areas across 11 states. As we advance our fiber build, we'll serve more communities with world-class connectivity and expect to roughly double where AT&T fiber is available by the end of 2030. Well, that all sounds good for the company, doesn't it? They're doing us a big favor here, ain't they? When they put millions of dollars in their pocket. But this is such a great favor for us. A driver was arrested after a crash in a roundabout in Middleton. Derek Harrison, 31, of Leesburg, was driving a black Dodge Charger when he was involved in a crash shortly before 11 a.m. Wednesday in the roundabout at Marsh Bend Trail and Central Parkway, according to the arrest report of the Wildwood Police Department. The officer investigating the crash discovered that Harrison's driver's license had been indefinitely suspended. He was also wanted on a warrant out of Georgia while driving while license suspended. Without going any further, my mind says jail, no bond, and we'll probably extradite him back to Georgia. Harrison was arrested on a charge of driving while license suspended. He was booked at Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $500 bond. And let's see what another village idiot is doing. A son has been accused of stealing pills from his mother in the villages. Sean Burley Kyleman, 44, is accused of stealing pills from his mother this past October at her home in the Layton Villas in the village of Dunedin. He was originally arrested this past year in Leesburg, but was transferred this week to face a charge of grand theft of a controlled substance in Sumter County. His mother told Sumter County Sheriff's deputies that Kyleman had been staying with her but abruptly left about a week ago. Her pills went missing at the same time. Kyleman, who also runs a business in the villages called SBK Drywall and Finishes, was being held this weekend on a $2,500 bond at Sumter County Detention Center. He also spent time in jail earlier this year for violating a court order. God, Mom. What else can you say? A villager stopped for speeding refused to provide a breath sample during a drunk driving investigation. William Burton Pringle III, 63, who lives in the Escondido Villas near Savannah Center, was driving a gray Kia SUV at about 9 p.m. Saturday on U.S. Highway 27 and 441, approaching Griffin View Drive, when he was caught driving at 65 miles per hour in a 50-mile-per-hour zone, according to the report from the Lady Lake Police Department. During a traffic stop, it appeared Pringle had been drinking. He said he had been at a local pizza restaurant and was returning home. A check of his driver's license revealed he has a restriction for driving for business purposes only. Pringle complained about an ankle injury while performing field sobriety exercises. His poor performance led the officer to conclude that Pringle had been driving impaired. An open Jai Alai beer, have no idea, and an open Rita's Lime Arita beverage, have no idea, were found in his vehicle and were still cool to the touch. Pringle refused to provide a breath sample. He was arrested on charges of driving under the influence in violation of a driving restriction. He was booked at the Lake County Jail and released after posting a $1,500 bond. A drunk driving suspect from the Villages allegedly made threats using a racially provocative word after he was taken into custody. Anthony Christopher Borneo, 42, who lives in the village of Fernandina, was found at about 10 p.m. Thursday in a silver Subaru Outback with a Florida Veterans Specialty license plate after a complaint about a suspicious vehicle in Ocklawaha, according to an arrest report from the Marion County Sheriff's Office. Borneo appeared to be confused and thought he was still at the bar. Borneo initially refused to comply with the deputy's request to step out of the vehicle. The deputy removed Borneo from the vehicle. I see this picture in my head about how they're removing him from the vehicle. Borneo, who stands 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighs 220 pounds, resisted efforts to be handcuffed. A check revealed Borneo's license had been suspended. Borneo's level of intoxication was so high that the deputy decided to forego field sobriety exercises out of concern for Borneo's safety. After he was placed in the back of the deputy's squad car, Borneo had mood swings. He would cry and then suddenly begin to use foul language. He made a death threat and he used the N-word. I don't know. I mean, as a cop, they probably hear this stuff all the time. They just ignore it, right? Once they arrived at the Marion County Jail, Borneo disobeyed orders from the deputy and the detention staff. Borneo tried to take a drink of the water from a water fountain, despite a deputy's order not to do so prior to his breath test. Borneo was considered a refusal for the breath test. Borneo was arrested on charges of driving under the influence, refusal to submit to a breath test, driving while license suspended, and resisting arrest. He was booked at the jail, where he was initially held without bond. Man, some people just can't handle their booze, I swear. An awful lot of alcohol problems in the villages. For those of you that don't know, if you watch this news, you'll hear it literally every week. And I'm just reading you some of them that are more exciting like this one. But there's bunches of them every week. An unlicensed Guatemalan with a work permit was apprehended with cocaine in Wildwood. Kelvin Gonzalez Valquez, 20, was driving a gray Toyota Camry at about 12:30 p.m. Saturday on State Road 44 near Interstate 75 when a Sumter County Sheriff's deputy noticed the vehicle had an expired license plate. During a traffic stop, the native of Guatemala admitted he does not have a driver's license. He provided the deputy with a USA employment authorization card and indicated he has been living in the United States for 3 years, according to the arrest report. The deputy checked Gonzalez Valquez's wallet and found 3 small clear plastic baggies which contained a white powder substance which tested positive to cocaine. He was arrested on charges of driving without a license and possession of cocaine. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center, where the U.S. Department of Immigration and Customs Enforcement has put a hold on his custody. Head him up. I hear you. Move them out. A villager's son was apprehended with hypodermic syringes during a traffic stop in a suspicious area. Michael Mackenzie Moore, 34, who lives with his mother in the village of Buttonwood, was traveling with a male companion in a silver Mazda at about 7 p.m. Friday when the vehicle was spotted in an area at Northwest 92nd Avenue in Wildwood, which is known for illegal dumping and other criminal-related activities, according to an arrest report from Sumter County Sheriff's Office. A canine alerted on the vehicle, signaling the likelihood of presence of drugs. A hypodermic syringe was found in the vehicle center console. 2 more hypodermic syringes were found in a black bag, which is located in the back seat. A substance in the syringes tested positive for, you got it, methamphetamine. A check revealed that Moore is already on felony probation for possession of methamphetamine in Hernando County. The Pennsylvania native was arrested on charges of drug possession and possession of drug paraphernalia. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center. Due to the probation violation, he was held without bond. Well, good. Keep him there. That's the only way these people are going to learn. We have to make the punishment extremely severe, or they're never going to learn. If we don't hit this problem head on, it'll never get any better. A convicted child molester arrested last month after working out at a gym in the Villages has been freed on a $100,000 bond. Timothy Eugene Wadham, 63, had been lodged since April 1 at the Sumter County Detention Center on multiple sex offending violations. Originally held without bond, a judge of Sumter County Court this past week agreed to set Wadham's bond at $100,000, leading to his release. Wadham was convicted in 1996 for molesting a child in Tucson, Arizona, and is therefore required to register as a sex offender. At the time of his arrest in April, Wadham's last registered address had been with his mother at 4514 Bird Lane in the village of DeLuna. She told Sumter County Sheriff's deputies her son had purchased a home at 3427 Melissa Lane in the Grady Villas, also in the village of DeLuna. Property records confirmed he bought the patio villa last year for $290,000. Wadham's mother added that her son was likely working out at the Genesis Health Club at Brownwood. A deputy found Wadham's in the parking lot of the gym and took the Galesburg, Illinois native into custody. He is due back in court on July 7. A cleaning lady previously charged in a theft case in the Villages has allegedly turned to selling drugs. Brianna Lene Shaw, 26, of Wildwood, is being held this weekend on a $52,000 bond at the Lake County Jail on charges including trafficking methamphetamine. She was arrested earlier this month in the parking lot of Mystic Ice Cream in Fruitland Park. I like Mystic Ice Cream. It's ice cream with alcohol in it, but I gotta tell you, I didn't taste hardly any alcohol in any of the ice cream. I'm sure it's there, but it ain't no big deal. She had attracted the attention of a police officer who noticed she had been driving her gray Kia Soul in a suspicious manner. A pat-down led to the discovery of a pouch concealed in her skirt, according to the arrest report of Fruitland Park Police Department. The pouch held several cellophane sandwich bags which contained methamphetamine. The combined weight of the bags was 30.94 grams. After she was taken into custody, Shaw was able to slip her hand out of a handcuff and reached for her cell phone. She had been cleaning at a home in the Villages and was paid $130 in cash by the homeowner, according to the arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. The wife, apparently unaware that her husband paid her in cash, gave Shaw a check for $120. Shaw gave the check to her employer, but kept the cash. Once Shaw's employer learned that the customer had double paid for the cleaning services, the employer returned the money to the client and absorbed the loss. The employer contacted law enforcement to report what had happened. That's originally what she was arrested for. Now she's selling drugs. I don't know, man. I swear to God, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Sumter County will review its controversial fire assessment fees for possible changes in the 2026-2027 fiscal year. Based on a flat fee for homes and square footage for businesses, the fire assessment fees have spawned 3 lawsuits, which may be resolved this summer. Fees are different for the county's 2 fire departments. The village's public safety department provides fire and ambulance services in the villages, while Sumter County Fire and EMS serves the rest of the county. County Administrator Bradley Arnold said it's too late to change the fees for this next fiscal year that begins October 1. He said another study will be needed to make sure the method used to calculate fees does not violate state or case law. Commissioner Todd Kuhn, owner of Tri-County Landscapes, said at a workshop meeting Tuesday night that other business owners have complained to him about the fees. Other business owners. Who might that be? Todd. He said the fees should be calculated the same way for homes and businesses. I totally disagree. It's totally unfair. The only people that's going to come ahead on this is going to be big businesses that own warehouses, business offices, those kinds of things. This year, Sumter County homeowners paid $355.58 per parcel, while villagers paid $320.71 per parcel in fire assessment fees. Fees for businesses were much higher because they were based on square footage, as they should be, and some businesses paid $25,000 or more. What businesses are those? Guys need to quit hiding behind bushes here and start telling us who's making the complaints. What businesses are going to benefit? Tell us. The business fees were higher in Sumter County than the villages because of the smaller tax base. Campground owners sued the county, claiming the fees were unfair because they were based on 600 square feet per site, which are not occupied for part of the year. Home and businesses both paid $125 per parcel the prior year. Fees kept both fire departments afloat this year after they lost property tax revenue. Sumter County expected to collect about $12.7 million in fees this year. 2 no votes by former Commissioners Orrin Miller cost both department tax revenues for this year because the Florida Department of Revenue requires a unanimous vote the first time a new property tax is levied. Rates for both departments were set at 0. Operating as a dependent district supervised by Sumter County, the village's public safety department has requested a 13th ambulance for next year due to high call volume. Sumter County operates 6 ambulances. I think you guys can read in between the lines about who this is going to benefit a lot. Todd even put out a YouTube video, and he said out of his own mouth, and if I can find that video, I'm going to look it up. He said, "I will do whatever that the developer wants me to do."
The villages means to me loyalty and family. You know, I'm very loyal to them and they are very loyal to me. Employees, we prep the yards, the new homes being built for the villages. We prep them for landscape, irrigation, sod. We maintain them, till the new homeowner moves in. We're also putting up all the vinyl fence, on every villa they're building or verandas. The railing on the back walls where they back up to the golf course, the roadways, we install that. We're also doing all the new golf construction, planting all the sod and for those under new construction. The villages to me is, it's everything.
He has a landscape company and he does work for the developer. This is where he makes his money. Who owns all the businesses inside the villages here? Well, I'm shocked. It's the developer. He's the one that's going to benefit by changing all this. I wouldn't trust Todd no further than I could throw him. Okay, let's see. How many holes in ones of golf did we get this week? Looks like 4. All right. Joe Montano of the village of Duval recently got his 3rd hole-in-one on a 184-yard par 3. He was golfing at the Southern Star Executive Golf Course. Well, congratulations on your hole-in-one, Joe. David Williams of the village of Springdale got a hole-in-one, made a 2nd at El Santiago Executive Golf Course. He hit a 4-wood from 95 yards. Well, congratulations on your hole-in-one, David. A villager got a hole-in-one on the eve of his 84th birthday. Eddie Dalton scored the lucky ace at hole number 8 at the Heron Executive Golf Course. I liked Heron. I also liked Pelican. Started off with double bogey. Greens had been punched and got my 8th hole-in-one on number 8 at Heron just before my 84th birthday. Dalton told villagesnews.com, "Thank you, Gene Flowers, for talking me into playing today." Well, congratulations on your hole-in-one there, Eddie, and happy birthday. Mike Hasty was thrilled to get his 8th lifetime hole-in-one Tuesday, May 20th at the Bonita Pass Executive Golf Course. He scored the lucky ace at hole number 5 at 135 yards. Well, congratulations on your hole-in-one there, Mike. Beer's on you, buddy. Let's move on to everybody's favorite letters to the editor. To the editor, I moved here in 2008. The place was reasonable and easy to get around. Now I find restaurants are too expensive, the roads are too busy, and way too narrow for golf carts and cars, especially when trucks with trailers are passing. Road traffic is out of control. The roads are not wide enough. The Lake Sumter Bridge is dangerous because it is too narrow for carts and head-on collisions are due to happen. That's sent in by Gregory Rich from the village of Sunset Point. Well, Gregory, I agree with you about a lot of things. I'm just not too sure that we're going to be able to do anything about any of it. They call it progress. The village developer calls it dollars in the bank. That's what he calls it. Sumter County, your commissioners over there, they call it dollars in the bank. So I've said it before as a joke, but it's really not a joke. Just follow the money. None of this is going to stop. Everybody's putting money in their pocket for every good reason in the world, and it's never going to stop. As far as that bridge goes, you're correct. That golf cart lane is narrow. And I always tell people, be careful going across there. I pull my mirror in. You know what I'm talking about because that's how narrow it is. But you know, that's really not my number one concern about it. Even though it is a concern, I'm not taking that away from you. My biggest concern is what is there that protects you from the traffic right next to you on the highway over there on Morse Boulevard. Everybody has an agenda. Everybody's looking to get their piece of the pie, and nothing gets done.
In Florida's friendliest hometown.
To the editor, I believe the whole concept of the villages has changed. It's no longer the friendliest, healthiest senior community anymore. They are gearing everything to attract a younger population, and we who are seniors are left behind. Case in point. Our choice in activity classes has greatly diminished. All the good activities have gone south. I am very disappointed in the villages. And the square music is so loud, you have to stand out in the street. Why? Because young people like the loud music. No need for it. Is there a restaurant anymore in the villages that has dinner music? No. We are ignored. That's sent in by Karen Orlando from the village of Summer Hill. Karen, let me tackle a couple of your things there real quick. This is, they are gearing everything to attract younger populations. Well, that's true because every year there's another group of retirees and they're younger than me. They're younger than you. That's a continual thing. It's a cycle. It's a cycle of life. That's never going to change. And as the cycle changes at our squares, I've talked to Scooter here the other day about it, Scooter the DJ. Well, he's a great friendly guy, by the way. Of all the musicians here that I've talked to get video from him and stuff, Scooter is the most acceptable guy of all of them. The rest of them are kind of snobbish, really. They're busy. They don't answer the phone. They ain't got time. It's just always something. Scooter makes time. And that's what I like about him. But anyway, he was telling me that same thing that I was thinking. As the generations change, the music on the squares are going to change. And as a joke, I said on a W&L show when Scooter came on as a guest that one of these days we're going to hear rap music played on the square. He agreed. That's what's going to happen. I'm not going to like it. You're not going to like it. But yeah, that's what's going to happen. It just is. Nobody has dinner music anymore. Do you realize that the younger generation don't even know what you're talking about? And I'm not picking on you. I'm agreeing with you. They don't even know what you're talking about. Nice. We used to call it elevator music. Just loud enough where you could hear it, but you could talk over it without yelling. You know what I mean? It's just comfortable, relaxing kind of music. No, they don't have it. You're exactly right. A nice one or two restaurants with nice elevator music in it would be great, but we just don't have them here. Not that I've seen. It's all about beer, burgers, and loud music. To the editor, if the gentleman was offended by the patriotism shown at the Lighthouse restaurant, then he should eat somewhere else. If it wasn't for those who fought and those who gave their lives for this country, he wouldn't have the freedom to eat wherever he wants. One question, did he serve? That's sent in by William W. Castellane from the village of Santo Domingo. Well, William, first of all, to ask somebody if they served, well, that don't really enter into it. Whether he served or didn't serve has no respect of what his opinions are about military or anything else. Wars, nothing. Has nothing to do with any of that. That's just you throwing that out there. But I will say this. I agree with everything else you say, 1,001%. If it wasn't for the people that served in the past, then you wouldn't have anything that you have today. And I say that. Anything than you have today. My family's all military. Truthfully, I'm the only one that couldn't make it to military. They wouldn't let me go. He said, if you're the only male person in your family that's left to carry on the family name because of something that happened many, many years ago, it was like 7 sons or 6 sons. There's a whole story about it. They made a law saying that'll never happen again. And so you're going to stay here. To which I was. I was the only person left in my family to carry on the family name. So there I am. I'm stuck in 2 corners. I can't go anywhere. And I always regretted that. I did. Until this day, it kind of bothers me that everybody else in my family served and I didn't. But I couldn't do anything about it. So there you go. But I support them. All of them. All the time support. Maybe that's why I support the military and the first responders so much, is because they do something significant that I always felt like I'd never done. Thanks for all the letters to the editor. I think that's going to be the letters for this week. And if that person doesn't like patriotism, then you're right. Go eat somewhere else. Okay, I think that's going to be the news for this week. And as always, I give all credit to my YouTube members and my Patreon members for supporting the channel that allows me the time to cut this every week. If it wasn't for them, you wouldn't see it at all. So, thank you, YouTube members. Thank you, Patreon members. We had a get together on our Discord. If you're a Patreon member, you got your Discord link. If you don't go to Discord and check it out once in a while, you're going to miss out on some things. Because sometimes we do some things that we talk about it on Discord, and we do not put it on Patreon because we just are celebrating our Discord. And we had a get together at Linda's house. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Roy, for opening up your house for everybody. I know there was a lot of people there. I don't even remember how many people showed up. I was the limousine driver in the golf cart. She calls it something, the Barbie Mobile or something. It's embarrassing for a man to drive it, but I did. And I'd run back and forth, picking people up and bringing them to the house and taking them back to the car. And that was fine. I had no problem with it. And so we want to thank Jose. He made the real Cuban sandwiches. I think that's what they're called. I'm not sure. But he's Puerto Rican, so he knew how to do it. I want to thank him for the empanadas. He made them, a Puerto Rican recipe, I think. And he also brought his latte machine, espresso machine. I know I'm probably saying all this wrong. And he made iced coffee for people and things like that. So we had a good time. We had plenty to eat. Oh, and I want to thank Karen from Kevin and Karen, which is moderators that we use on Port Sutton. She made a gob of homemade cookies. I don't even know what all they was. Oh, chocolate chip was one, raisin cookies was another, and maybe there were some other ones, I'm not sure. And she makes the best cookies. They're just, thanks, Karen. They are just finger licking good, as they say. So with that being said, the last little announcement I want to make, this is going to be the last news you're going to see for a while. I'm leaving. We got places to go. And so it'll probably be at least a month before you're going to see any more news. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. Up next is going to be a special bad parking. May I say, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Become a Patreon member. And Patreon members, I appreciate you letting us have this time off. So bad parking coming up next. Be well, take care, be aware, take care of your health.
And don't leave your key in that golf cart.